I'm Danim Ahmed, Special Correspondent of Dhaka Tribune. I have with me Afsan Chaudhary, researcher, journalist, commentator. Let's talk about disappearance. We have just had a bit of good news before the year end. Two people who had disappeared have returned to their families. But of course, there are many more who haven't, and many who perhaps will never return to their families. Now, there seems to be a common story emerging from both these men who have come back. Do you see a pattern emerging here?
Thank you. I think the pattern that is emerging is the fact that nobody has a story, that nobody says what happened, that nobody knows what happened. There are vague statements like they wanted money and so on and so forth, they were kept in a dark room, they're fed properly and all that. They don't look ill-treated, but they look insecure. That I think is a common trend. That is one. The message that has gone out, if you are talking about a common trend, is that you are not safe. Don't ever assume you will not be disappeared. Whoever these people who are disappearing are, that I think has been very effective. But I think I did right when Mubashir, who is a university teacher, was disappeared. And before that, Onirutha was disappeared. That if the disappeared people are from the lesser socially, economically powerful groups or established groups, the pressure to appear them is less. But these were from the upper middle class. And so disappearing upper middle class is not so easy. At the same time, it also shows that the upper middle class, which has the sense of like invincibility or immunity from such acts, are not. Anybody can disappear. That's one side. So whoever, whether it's one group or two group or five group, disappearing as a whole has achieved its objective, which is to create fear in the mind of people. The other side, the flip side of that is that since the law enforcing agencies are unable to do anything in any case, and they are saying at one point of time, I think IG of police has said that disappearances have always been with us, which has been a very lame statement to make, and I think the IG should have been more careful about the statements he made. He was basically making disappearances halal. This doesn't, even if it is so, it cannot be so. And the fact that the law enforcement agencies have not recovered anyone, almost no one, is very important, which means that there is gap in the striking ability of the law enforcement agencies. It contrasts very sharply with the way they have handled the Jungis, which has been stupendously successful, and it's on global admiration. Forget how the process, method, etc., they have achieved it, they've done it. But in case of this, they have not achieved anything at all.
But the Home Minister said it is precisely because the law enforcers are working that all these disappeared people are reappearing.
I don't think in case of Utpal, in case of Mubashir, in case of Onirutha, they have stated that the law enforcement agencies had any role to play. They have not. They could be. I mean, they can come forward and present their case. But I think it's a double-edged sword. One, the disappearance has scared everyone. And I think everyone now takes it as a fact of life that anyone can disappear. The other side, it also reduces confidence as far as civil, ordinary people are concerned. And Jongis, almost no one is Jongi. 1 in 100 million, or God knows, whatever number, is a Jongi. But if you're not a Jongi, you are still afraid. A Jongi is probably taking that part into his risk factor, that I can be disappeared. Maybe they are disappeared, I don't know. But ordinary civilians are afraid. It doesn't look well. It doesn't look well for anyone. It doesn't look even for the political government that they disappear. True, in many cases, like in case of Farhad Mazhar, the police claimed he self-disappeared. Now a case is on and he has even contested it. Let us see, let's wait for the jury's out, how the case hasn't started. But in several other cases, when they just disappeared, we are mystified. And with mystery comes fear. And I think that's not a good thing to happen. So that has become part of our culture now. Boom has become part of our cultural vocabulary. And that, I think, doesn't look good for any government.